Chapter 3102 begins with Matriarch Farrell asserting her authority over Holden and the Farrell family. She condemns Shiloh for not only ruining her marriage with Holden, but also for interfering in their eldest son Marco's marriage. She notes that Marco's wife is seeking a divorce due to his affair with Shiloh, which, in her view, justifies Shiloh's tragic end. She makes it clear that she will not investigate Shiloh's death, whether it was a murder or suicide, and refuses to allow anyone in the Farrell family to use their influence to launch such an investigation. She is firm any attempt to go against her will be met with severe consequences, reinforcing her control over the family's affairs. Holden, overwhelmed by fear and frustration, watches helplessly as his wife leaves the room with confidence and authority. He is left reflecting on his decades long marriage, which has been characterized by strict expectations, not love. Though Matriarch Farrell had once treated him well during happier times, their relationship had deteriorated over the years. As she aged, Matriarch Farrell grew increasingly strict and controlling, leaving him feeling more and more stifled in the marriage. He had spent much of their relationship accommodating her, bending to her will, and suppressing his own desires and needs in order to maintain peace. As Matriarch Farrell exits, Sage, Holden's son, enters the ward. He notices his father's tearful state and attempts to console him. Sage expresses concern over the tension between his parents, asking him what happened to upset his mother. Sage reveals that Matriarch Farrell had informed him that once Holden is discharged from the hospital, he would no longer be allowed to live in the Farrell family mansion. Instead, he would be moved into a smaller villa that Sage owns, specifically intended for Holden's retirement. This revelation further deepens Holden's despair, as it becomes clear that his wife has no intention of allowing him to return to their shared home. Sage, unaware of the full extent of his parents' conflict, assumes that Holden must have angered Matriarch Farrell by bringing up Shiloh's death. He reminds his father that while Shiloh's death was tragic, it was not Matriarch Farrell's fault. Sage, like many of the Farrell children, sees his mother as the unquestioned authority in the family, and he assumes that any conflict between his parents must have been caused by Holden. This assumption reflects the imbalance of power in Holden's marriage and his marginal role within the Farrell family. Sage's comments reinforce Holden's perception that he is constantly blamed for family tensions, while Matriarch Farrell's actions are rarely questioned. Holden's feelings of isolation are further emphasized as he reflects on his life as a son in law within the Farrell family. He recalls how Matriarch Farrell's dominant position as a family matriarch extended beyond their marriage, affecting his relationships with his own family. Holden's relatives were never treated with the same respect and hospitality as Matriarch Farrell's family. Even after his parents' death, he was the only one allowed to attend their funeral, with Matriarch Farrell forbidding their daughter, who carries the Farrell surname, from joining him. This pattern of neglect and dismissal underscores Holden's alienation, not only within his marriage, but also within his own family. He feels that his wife treated his parents and family as afterthoughts, never affording them the dignity or attention they deserved. Holden, devastated by Matriarch Farrell's harsh words and actions, laments that his wife's treatment of him has been worse than that of a dog. He feels powerless, unable to stand up to her or assert his needs within the marriage. He explains to Sage that all he wanted was for Matriarch Farrell to investigate Shiloh's death, given that Shiloh had been treated as their daughter for over 20 years. However, this simple request had enraged his wife, who refused to engage with any discussions about Shiloh's fate. Holden's emotional breakdown reflects the deep despair and helplessness he feels within his marriage. Despite having been married to Matriarch Farrell for decades, he has never truly felt like an equal partner in their relationship.